Natu, and I'm like out of my mind. I mean, musically, it's a very catchy song. It's a very, I don't know if it's like Indian pop. I don't even know what the genre is, what kind of modern pop, modern music genres they even call there. It's a very danceable modern tempo with the Natu. If someone can tell me how long Nato has been around, that would be amazing. In other languages, is it Hindu that is called Nacho?
Okay, so now next we have that dance sequence, right? The Natu Natu dance, right? So here too, I think there's a lot of things that were kind of lost in translation or not understood in contextually, basically what this dance actually is. It's to be understood that this is a complete parody dance. Okay, so what's going on here? So a lot of people think this is an exposition of Indian dance or Natu Natu as if it's a real dance. No, there's nothing like that. Okay, so let me just explain what the director and what this whole choreography team is up to. So we see that English guy Jake, right? He trips Beam, and then he's like, "You're a country oaf, and you guys don't have any finesse." Okay, so what this is not a way of showing that Indian dancers also have finesse. No, it's actually just the opposite. Okay, so let's see. Like in Hindi, they say, "Do you know Desi Naach?" That's what Ram asks him. Okay, so Naach is actually a very crude, uncouthish, lower form to say dance, right? So in Hindi, for example, Naach would be like the lowest form. That's where you have this term called Naach girls, right, in English. So like if you ever like say that my daughter is learning Naach, people will be like, oh my God, what is she up to? But the higher form of word, like either you use just the English word dance, which is fine, everybody understands it, or like if you want to go to like to the highest form of word, it would be Natya, which is a Sanskrit word, and then that directly relates to all these traditional high finesse dances, like like Odissi, Manipuri, Bharatnatyam, Kathakali, all these, and they're very tough to understand and they're very boring. If for a guy like me, I don't really understand them. But that would be probably if somebody's trying to do like on the one hand they're doing flamenco and tango and saying, oh, okay, something like that. So then India would have that like that. Okay, but that's not what they do here. Okay, what he says, and he says it, and then he says, do you know Desi Naach? So he qualifies the word Naach, which is already an uncouth form of word for dance. It doesn't sound nice either. He says Desi, which here the connotation is kind of more like more like rustic, okay? So rustic dance, okay? Like rustic low form dancing, okay? And he says it with a straight face, so it's really funny. In fact, it's like, it's a little cringy also. It's like, oh my God, what's he saying? It doesn't sound right. And that's why I think in the English subs, they didn't translate that because there's nothing to translate. So what's going on here, like in the American context, how you would understand this is like, for example, say there's some big symposium, musical symposium, and you have all these classic musicians come in, and they've all like practiced 20 years and all like classical music stuff. And one guy's telling the other, oh, do you know Bach's Symphony Number 9? And do you know Mozart's, Overture Concerto, 12 or something, And then there's one dude there, and he's like, not Bach, not Mozart, my brother. Do you know gangster rap? And he's like, what's gangster rap? Okay, and suddenly it just explodes into like, bitches in the house, get your asses on the couch, or something nonsense like that. Just imagine. So that's the way you have to look at this.